Welcome to the AFC Vacations virtual travel show. I'd like to introduce your host, one of our exceptional AFC tour managers, Chris McCool.
Good afternoon, everyone. Even though I cannot see you and you cannot see me, it is a delight to be here with you. I have missed you. And our other tour directors have told me the same thing in our various conversations that we have from week to week. And they have said to all of you, hello, and they want you to know that they miss you as well. We're going to be spending for about the next hour time taking a look at the 2021 opportunities that AFC Vacation has for you. You see in this first image a picture of the AFC catalog, and you can see that we literally take you all over the world. We are hoping in 2021 that this indeed happens, and with the advent of the vaccines that are coming along, we have every reason to believe that it will. On the left, you can see the founder of AFC, Randy Case, and in 1982, this was one of his very first groups, as you can see at Chateau Lake Louise with the Victoria Glacier in the background. At AFC, we have a commitment to wellness for you. We want you to be safe in all aspects of your tour, and of course, face masks will be required on the motor coach. We prefer that you wear them when we are out and about, and at meals, we will keep as socially distanced as possible. Here you can see the AFC staff. These are some of the managers of the various departments, and Joe and April are on the left. These are people you likely would be talking with. We want your holiday experience to be seamless from beginning to end. So we have included in the cost of the tour picking you up in either a transfer van or possibly even a town car, and we will take you from your home to your closest destination airport. Also, at the end, there will be chauffeurs waiting with a sign with your name on it to take you back home safely. There are so many ways to save money with AFC. We jokingly say that with all of the various discounts, including early booking and other discounts, that we're paying you to go. But I want you to take a look at this. Single room sites. Look at the middle column where you see $50 to $350 off per person. Consider that. If you're in the first 10, you can save a lot of money in addition to the discounts offered, including the discounts if you sign up by this coming Friday as a result of being a part of this show. Here are some of our tour directors. I think most of you know all of us, and we are pleased to be with you. I must say this about our tour directors. I think it is some of the best I've ever seen. I learn from them every day, and they have your wellness, your safety, a great time in store for you. And did you know that every one of these tour directors have anywhere from 30 to 45 years of experience leading tours? We include round-trip airfare. Not only do we include the home pickup to your closest airport, but if you want to upgrade to business or economy plus, we can make that happen for you as well. Remember this, if your friends or family want to travel with you and don't live in your departure city, we can get them there from any place in the United States, or in fact, anywhere from in the world. You have the world in the palm of your hands with an AFC vacation. Let's take a look at all we have in store for you. Dining is such a critical part of any tour, and if the food is good, that is going to go a long ways in your having a great time. We joke kiddingly that you could possibly come away gaining 10 pounds on an AFC vacation, something you would expect only on a cruise, but we feed you very well. It might be a themed dinner. It might be a dinner with a view, or it could be a dinner where you are learning how to cook, such as in the upper left of this picture. We stay in the very best hotels imaginable, and whether it is the beautiful Grand Hotel, the largest front porch in the world, or the Hilton in Sedona, or the Doubletree in Hyannis, it makes no difference. You will be pleased with our choices of hotels for you. AFC is part of the USTOA program. We are one of a handful of companies in the entire nation that have the privilege of being a part of this just due to the size of the company. And it offers you the $1 million Traveler's Assistance Program, as well as low-cost travel protection and a consumer protection plan. It is critical that you travel with a company with this moniker, and we indeed have that for you. Please note that we have a show special. If you book by this coming Friday, December 18th, you can eliminate the $350 deposit. It is a $99 deposit, plus you get $25 off per person just for being a part of this show. Be sure and use the code VTS1200 that is listed on this image. Now, Joe, Claudia, and April are part of our reservations team, and if you will call or text or email, they will answer all of your questions and make it as seamless as possible from beginning to end. Oh, why do we travel? First of all, I think we're all anxious to travel again because of pent-up demand. We like to have a change in our life. Psychologists say that risk-taking is critical to staying young, and doing something a little different, say such as a mystery tour, helps the child inside of us come out and play. And right now, all of us want to come out and play. And we are there to help you make memories, have a great time, and create new friendships. Let's talk about our Encore Mystery Tours. These are a lot of fun. Now, Deb Howard and I lead most of these tours, and you can see there are 3 opportunities, May, October, and December. What is an Encore Mystery Tour? Well, a mystery tour, first of all, is a tour to a destination that would not be on the beaten path. You won't find these destinations in anyone else's catalog. I mean, have you ever thought about the Golden Isles of Georgia as a destination? Or, as an example, Spokane, Washington, or Omaha, Nebraska? These are fabulous places to go with so much to see, and you would never think there would be anything there worth seeing, and you come home and say, this was so much fun. Well, these Encore Mystery Tours are simply repeats of past mystery tours that were just major league winners. And if you choose to be a part of one of these 3, you will be in for a treat. We also have brand new mystery tours. We have such a good time creating these. There again, they are unusual and unique, not found in anybody's catalog, including our own. And you can see that between Deb and I, we lead all of them, and Deb will lead the international tour as well. Now, here is how you can go on a mystery tour with confidence that you probably have not been to the destination before. You simply tell our reservations team the 5 or 6, 7 states you've not been to, and they will say, oh, you might want to go on the August mystery tour. They're not going to tell you the destination. We will tell you what kind of clothing to bring, what the temperatures will be, but you will never know where you're going until you actually arrive at the airport. Lots of fun, and if you do this, you will have a thrill. European river cruises are such an important topic for us today, simply because there is pent-up demand. When the COVID situation is finally under control, when we hope that will be in the next few months, we have several charters for you to consider. Now, we can book you on other river cruises as well, but I want to point out specifically the ones that we have chartered for you. And river cruising is such a great way to see Europe. You slice through the center of Europe and you park right in the heart of town with oversized rooms, meals that are more amazing than any ocean cruise you have been on, an attentive staff, and also tour guides who will show you the best of the best. So let's take a look at what we have in river cruising. The MS Amadeus Imperial. Amadeus is our ship of choice. There are other good cruise lines, but we feel this is the best. This is the Cadillac of the batch, we feel. And I want you to know that if you choose one of our river cruises, not only can you get a 2-category upgrade from the Hayden deck to the Strauss deck, but you also can save anywhere from $350 to $700 off of the actual retail price if you were to book with us. add all the discounts up, and you can save a lot of money. I must implore you to jump on board early, put your deposit in, because these will fill up quickly. We guarantee it. The Holland and Wonders of the Rhine is a wonderful October trip, and you will be able to go all the way from Amsterdam to Nuremberg, seeing all the sights along the way. And I will tell you, going through the Castles region of the Rhine River is just spectacular. So be sure you jump on board for this tour. Vienna, Budapest, and the highlights of the Danube. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful way to travel, slicing through the heart of Europe and seeing the various sites like Regensburg, Passau, Vienna City Tour, Bratislava, one of my favorite cities in all of Europe. And note that we have regional wines and beers that are included with dinner, and there are outside cabins. I want you to notice the circles in this image where you have a $200 discount if you're in the first 10 to sign up, and then you can save up to $400 to $600 off of this particular cruise. But you've got to book it by February the 28th. Across the heart of Europe, Amsterdam to Budapest. Now, you can do this in two sections. You can buy either the first portion, which will take you to Passau, and the second portion, which will take you to Budapest, or you can buy the entire 2 weeks. And if you take the entire 2 weeks, what a relaxing experience you have in store for you with 14 nights and an outside cabin. It's the brand new Imperial ship. And of course, you'll have the meals on board and a lot of sightseeing included as well. We really, really love European river cruising. You know, I've led probably 6 or 8 of these myself for AFC, and we charter the ship, and the people have such a great time. I love the Christmas markets, whether they're in Austria, Switzerland, or Germany. And this is about the Swiss Christmas markets on the Rhine River. Yes, we're going to see Lucerne. We'll go to Strasbourg. Speyer will be part of it. We'll see Koblenz. Kokum will be in Cologne as well in Germany. And at each place, we will get off the ship, have sightseeing, of course, during the daylight hours. And then there are the fabulous Christmas markets with so much color, the gingerbread, the wassail, the various wines and spirits that are available. This is an opportunity you will enjoy. Don't worry about the weather. You can wrap up. It is not necessarily snowy this time of year, and you will just enjoy so much seeing this special time of year in Europe. Well, we're going to move from Europe back to our own United States, and let's take a quick look at the New Orleans and Cajun country. I have led this tour, and Deb Howard leads this tour as a general rule these days. We're going to fly you into New Orleans, but we're going to spend 2 nights in Evangeline country, Lafayette, the Cajun world. We'll take you to the very famous Martin Accordion Factory for some Zydeco music. We will as well take you up to Natchez, and we will as well go into the swamp country of Louisiana. But then take a look at River Road. We'll be in the Big Easy, seeing the sights, and we will enjoy everything from the Lafitte Cultural Center, the Tabasco Factory, the antebellum homes, the Court of Two Sisters. What a fabulous place to eat in New Orleans. So consider this and understand, on the March tour, the azaleas and dogwoods are just spectacular. We also have a New Orleans, Mississippi Gulf Coast tour. This would have been a mystery tour last year. It was the last tour I led for AFC before things seemed to slow down a lot because of the pandemic. And it was a wonderful tour. We fly into New Orleans and we spend 2 nights there seeing all the sights of the Big Easy. Then we're in Biloxi, everything from the Jefferson Davis home to the sites of Bellingrath Gardens in Mobile. It is just a beautiful tour. One of the things I loved a lot about this tour was doing the shrimp boat tour out in the Gulf and seeing how shrimping is done. You actually see it taking place. America's Music Cities is for those who love the original American music. And we are going to give you exactly that as we fly into St. Louis and have a tour of St. Louis, including the fabulous Arch, then we make our way across Missouri to Branson, where we will have some shows, Soji Tabuchi, the Duttons, the Doug Gabriel Show in Branson, a couple of nights, not overkill, but just enough. Then down through the mountains of Arkansas to Little Rock, where we visit the Clinton Library, a beautiful library, one of my favorite presidential libraries. Memphis has Beale Street, the Blues, B.B. King, certainly Elvis's Graceland. And then 3 hours over to Nashville, where we have the Country Music Hall of Fame, the Grand Ole Opry, and other sites. Georgia on My Mind is a tour that will take place in November. I led this tour a couple of years ago, and Deb Howard leads it as well. It's 5 nights, unpack once. You've got to love that. In Atlanta, we're at the Hilton Midtown, I believe, in Atlanta, and it includes all types of Gone with the Wind events, the Carter Library, up to Stone Mountain and the Summit Sky Ride. We'll go to the Little White House in Warm Springs, Georgia, where Franklin Roosevelt passed. We'll also see marvelous spring flowers in the spring of the year, and we will also take you to the foliage of the foothills of the Smokies on the November tour. Kentucky with Noah's Ark is a tour that I had the privilege of designing for AFC. I am a Kentucky native. I actually attended University of Kentucky, and I know this horse farm country like the back of my hand. And on this tour, I am going to take you on roads that probably no bus should be on, but we manage it every year, and this is the back roads that other tour companies do not have a clue where to see the beautiful horse farms and the thoroughbreds coming right up to the fence to visit with you. While we're in Louisville, we're going to take you to the Churchill Downs Racetrack and the museum. We're also going to take you to the Derby Dinner Playhouse in Indiana for a wonderful meal and play. We're going to see the Louisville Slugger Factory, the Muhammad Ali Museum. We'll take you to Victorian Louisville on a tour, including Cherokee Park. My Old Kentucky Home of Stephen Foster fame is part of that, and Maker's Mark Distillery, where you can actually purchase your own Kentucky sipping bourbon. Shaker Village is a part of this tour, and we'll talk about that more on the tour, but it's one of my favorite places. And then in Lexington, we'll be seeing the Henry Clay home. We'll take you to the Kentucky Horse Park, and then to Williamstown, the Noah's Ark exhibit. It's an exact replication of Noah's Ark and the Toyota auto plant in Georgetown, Kentucky. Spring in Charleston and Savannah is Deb Howard's tour. I too have led this tour, but I can't wrestle it from Deb. She just loves it so much, and she does such a great job with it. In Charleston, 3 nights, the Ashley River Valley, Magnolia Plantation, Middleton Place Plantation. We'll take you to the Battery, out to Fort Sumter. We will take you to Hyman's Restaurant, which is one of my very favorite seafood restaurants in the country. Then down to Savannah, Georgia, where we're right on River Street, and you can see the bricks that were actually ballast for the ships coming in. Did you know Savannah is the 5th largest seaport in the nation? And we're going to have a wonderful time seeing the sights there, including the Gordon Low home of Girl Scout fame. And then to Beaufort as well. I missed that on the way to Savannah. That's a Forrest Gump fame. Wonderful little Victorian type city, Old South actually, and a lot of movies have been filmed there. Then Jekyll Island, where the rich and famous gathered, and we'll stay right in the place. You can see the slide on the right lower portion of this image of where we will stay. This is where the Federal Reserve was created. So wonderful tour of Charleston, Savannah, and Jekyll Island. The Washington, D.C. Cherry Blossom Festival is exactly that. It is a festival of the cherry trees that the Japanese sent to the U.S. many years ago. And these are our images. This is what you will actually see. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see everything you could ever imagine in D.C. in this Unpack Once tour experience. It will include the monuments by day and night, the Smithsonian's, your choice of that, and other sites in the D.C. area. But we're also going to take you to Annapolis, where the Naval Academy is located, and you can have wonderful crab cakes for lunch if you choose. And then to Mount Vernon as well, where George and Martha Washington lived. Check this out. It is a staple of our tour itineraries, and people love it every year. Florida and the Keys is a tour that Deb Howard and I both love, and I think some of our other tour directors lead it as well. The compelling reason I would say you should go on this tour is to see the Ringling Brothers Museum in Sarasota. It is massive. Every one of us has been to a Ringling Brothers circus, and it is not just for kids. It is something that adults will enjoy and probably even more. But this tour includes just far more than that as we go to Fort Myers to see the twin houses that Thomas Edison and Henry Ford had next to one another, as well as the Everglades, and we'll enjoy a jet boat tour. Fort Lauderdale, we will cruise the canals and see the massive homes that cost $10 million, and then out in front will be an $80 million yacht. We'll enjoy Miami as well. Then the overseas highway to Key West, where we enjoy the conch train ride as we stay in a beautiful hotel in Key West, the Hemingway House where the six-toed cats live, Truman's Winter White House, and Mallory Square, where the sunsets and festivities are just amazing. This is a wonderful time of year to be there in November, so I hope you'll consider this. The San Antonio Fiesta Tour is a tour that I love. I have led this tour many times. I happen to be sitting right now in New Braunfels, Texas, about 30 opportunity, and we're going to see all the sights of San Antonio, including reserved seats to the parade, the Fiesta Flambeau Parade, as well as the Texas Cavaliers River Parade. We'll see the sights, but we're also going to take you to Austin, to Fredericksburg, where the Museum of the Pacific is located, and to the LBJ Ranch in Stonewall, Texas, and the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. What a time of year to go when all the wildflowers are in bloom in Texas. Niagara Falls and the Grand Hotel is a tour I love. I remember several years ago. The Henry Ford Museum is world class. The Ford F-150 plant is amazing. And then we will make our way to Mackinac Island, and there we'll have a wonderful German meal at Zinder's restaurant and stay in wonderful lodging there. Then it's across the Blue Water Bridge into Canada, and we will need your passport for this tour. And we're going to go to Niagara Falls, where we will spend 2 nights letting you see the very best that Niagara Falls has to offer. Not only a meal from the Skyline Tower, watching the lights illuminate the falls, but also we'll be taking you to the Great Gorge, the largest rapids, standing rapids found anywhere in the world. We'll take you to Niagara on the lake. We might get you out to the Welland Locks to see the 750-foot ore ships slide into the locks. There is so much on this beautiful tour. Ultimately, we will fly home from Buffalo. Chicago All Access is another Unpack Once opportunity, and we will stay at the Palmer House Hilton, world-class hotel. It is the quintessential place to stay in Chicago and so well located. You see the Millennial Bean in Millennial Park. It's only about 2 blocks from that. It's also a very short distance from the Chicago Museum of Art, and the L train is literally right outside the front door. We'll see everything you would want to see in Chicago, including the architectural tour of the Chicago River with docent guides. We'll have a tour of the bad boys of Chicago as we actually see what the gangster life was like back in the day. Wrigley Field is a part of it. I love going to Cantigny Park of McCormick fame for the World War II museum that is there. And then up to Racine, Wisconsin for the S.C. Johnson Wax headquarters and museum, and the whole building was built by Frank Lloyd Wright. It is an amazing edifice and well worth the trip out of Chicago. Check this one out. Look at the departures, May and September. USA and the Canadian West. Let's take a look and see what we've got on tap for you in the West. First of all, we start with the Southwest National Parks. This is a tour that is a little different because, yes, we're going to the Grand Canyon, but probably not to a portion you have been to. We'll take you out of Las Vegas after spending a couple of nights there to see the sights, and we will take you to Valley of Fire, but we're going to take you to the Skywalk, which you see in the upper left of this image, out over the Grand Canyon. Some of you will enjoy this. Some of you will be hanging onto the rail, but it is quite a view. Then to Mesquite, Nevada, and from Mesquite, we will do day trips into Zion National Park and Bryce Canyon National Park. Mesquite is right on the Nevada-Utah border. In fact, we actually go through Arizona to get to Utah from Mesquite through the amazing gorge. So give this a try. It is 6 days of your time, and May and November are your departures. The Canadian Rockies, all from one hotel. Flying into Calgary, we're going to stay right in Banff. Oh, you've got Mount Rundle. You've got the tramway. This is a tour with wildlife, amazing scenery, and unpack once. You can't beat the opportunity. Desert Oasis and Southern California National Parks takes us into Las Vegas, and we'll enjoy the Hoover Dam Museum, which I think enumerates most wonderfully the Colorado River system and how important it is, and all the rivers that are created as a result of these dams, including Hoover Dam. You'll see the bridge as well. And then we go to Death Valley. So much to see in Death Valley, but we will give you the highlights of it as we spend one night in Death Valley, then down to Barstow. And from Barstow, we will take you to Palm Springs for 2 nights, and there we'll have the tramway, Joshua Tree State Park, and then a tour of San Diego and the harbor. So especially if you are from Texas, you should give this a try. But even if you're a California native, there is so much to be seen on this tour, and we all need opportunities to get away and change our routines. The New Mexico Balloon Fiesta is the most photographed event in the world, and we will spend 2 nights in Albuquerque, 3 in Santa Fe. But look, we're going to take you to Los Alamos, where you will have an opportunity to see the Bradbury Science Museum, Santa Fe and the Santa Fe Square, and the wonderful food of Santa Fe. Oh, I can just now taste the crepes at the French pastry shop on the Santa Fe Square. We'll take you to Taos as well. You'll see the Taos Town Square and the Taos Pueblo, the longest continuously operated and lived in house in America. And then we will see the balloons, the night glow. We will see the mass ascension. We will see the special shapes. We will learn about the Albuquerque box, which is why the Balloon Fiesta is held there. So give this a try. Only one departure, October 8th. Santa Fe in the Land of Enchantment is a tour that, again, has 5 nights in Santa Fe. We'll fly into Albuquerque, and from there, we're going to take you on the Turquoise Trail. New Madrid is a part of the tour behind Sandia Peak. We will as well have a tour of Santa Fe, including the famous Loreto Chapel, as you see in the upper right-hand picture of this image. We will as well take you to the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum, Taos and the Pueblo, and we will take you to the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center and Old Town Santa Fe for shopping. Check this tour out. It's a May and September departure. Waterways and Northwest National Parks is an area of the country I love so much. I could live in Washington State. I love it so much. And I have been there many, many times. We're going to fly you in and out of Seattle, but we have so much planned for you in and around the area, including the Puget Sound, as well as all the way up to Port Angeles, where we're going to enjoy whale watching. We're going to cross from Mukilteo back to Seattle on this tour, on the ferry. We will take you to Port Angeles and Port Townsend and enjoy that whale watching in the San Juan Islands. The Northwest Trek National Wildlife Park is located near Mount Rainier, and there we will travel on open-air trams through acres and acres of countryside, seeing animals that are indigenous to the Northwest. It is a grand experience and not anything like a zoo. We will as well go to Mount Rainier and see this beautiful mountain, the most glaciated in the lower 48. The Olympic National Park is also on the tour. Did you know that Seattle is located 100 miles from the Pacific Ocean? And so we have quite a bit of ground to cover here, but we're doing it all from one area, staying very tightly in the northwestern portion of our U.S. Yellowstone and Mount Rushmore is a tour many people enjoy more than one time. In fact, on this tour, we're going to fly you into Rapid City, South Dakota. We're going to take you to Mount Rushmore. We're going to see the Crazy Horse Monument, which is, did you know, all 4 heads of the presidents could fit on the forehead of Crazy Horse? Very interesting statistic. So 2 nights in Rapid City. We're going to take you to Deadwood on this tour as well. We will as well take you to Sheridan, to Devil's Tower, which you see in the bottom right of this image. And we'll spend the night in Sheridan on our way to Cody, Wyoming. And there we will go see the Buffalo Bill Western Museum. I love our entrance into the park. AFC has done it right as usual. And we are entering the east entrance of the park, clearly the most scenic way to come into Yellowstone. And if you go on an AFC tour of Yellowstone and the Tetons, you're going to see places that no other tour director or tour company, I should say, would take you, because we have been there, we've camped there, we've spent time on our own there, we know it so well. So we'll see the most important sites and some back road sites of Yellowstone and the Tetons, and then we'll make our way across Bear Lake down into Utah, and we will spend some time at Great Salt Lake, including the Mormon Temple complex, and then fly home. Great Trains in the Grand Canyons is a 5-night opportunity to spend time in the beautiful Red Rocks of Sedona, high on the Colorado Plateau. We're not only going to spend time there, but we're going to take you to the Verde Canyon Rail Train, which if you were to go in late September, early October, you would have a foliage experience, bar none. I so recommend it. That also includes down to Montezuma's Castle and Well. We'll go up to Williams, where we'll take the Grand Canyon Rail Train all the way up to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. And then we'll come back by motor coach through Flagstaff, seeing some sights along the way in Flagstaff, and we'll even take you to Jerome, the old Western mining town. This is probably one of the most popular tours AFC offers. And as you can see, we have many, many departures. So give consideration to one of these great opportunities. The U.S. and Canadian National Parks is a tour that I had the privilege of creating. Actually, it was not designed as an AFC tour to begin with. It was my personal vacation with my son. We love the mountains, and we wanted to be in the Rockies for 10 days to 2 weeks. So we came home, I thought about it, and we turned this into a tour, and it is exactly as we did it on our vacation. We've operated this tour successfully for many years. Pat Conway leads it, I lead it, and some others as well. Look at what we do. We fly you into Spokane, Washington, spend the night seeing the Spokane River and eating at a wonderful place in Spokane that has some of the best seafood I've ever had. Then we follow the headwaters of the Columbia River up to Castlegar, and we'll have lunch there, and we make our way up through country that looks like the Yukon Territory. I want you to look at the number of national parks on this tour. Revelstoke National Park, Yoho National Park, which is part of Lake Louise, Banff National Park, where we spend 2 nights. We'll take you up the Icefields Parkway, Kootenay National Park, where Radium Hot Springs is located, then down to the town of Fernie, British Columbia, which is as Switzerland-like as you can imagine, over to Head Smashed In Buffalo Jump, where the Native Americans had their annual event to harvest the bison parts for their well-being, and then to Waterton Lakes National Park in Canada, part of the Peace Park, to Glacier National Park in the United States, and we will do the Going to the Sun Road there and see Mini Glacier, one of my favorite sites, Kalispell, Montana for an overnight, and then to Wallace, Idaho. This is a wonderful Western town that has all kinds of silver mining history, and then ultimately back to Spokane. So you can see the images that we will see, including the Valley of the Ten Peaks and the red jammer cars taking us over the Going to the Sun Road. The Idaho Adventure is a tour that many of us have led, and I have the privilege of leading it this year as well. And we will take you into Spokane. We'll spend a little time just seeing the sights as we leave Spokane, but we're going to head for 2 nights at the fabulous 5-star Coeur d'Alene Resort overlooking Lake Coeur d'Alene in Idaho. There we will take you to Wallace, Idaho for a morning event, and that afternoon we will come back to the Ryder Ranch. I know the Ryders so well, and I tell you, they put on the best spread of food at their ranch you could possibly imagine in a wonderful setting. The steaks are covering the plate and the cobblers coming out of the cast iron pans right onto your plate, hot with ice cream. It is wonderful. We're going to head south and make our way to Riggins, where our hotel will overlook the confluence of the Salmon and the Little Salmon River, and you'll see hundreds of fishermen fishing for salmon, which are spawning at this time. While we're in Riggins, we're going to take you to the Snake River, and we will do a jet boat ride up the Snake River and Hell's Canyon, the deepest canyon in America, even deeper than Grand Canyon. You also have the opportunity to enjoy an optional rafting trip on the Snake River, and that is always exhilarating. McCool, Idaho has the Smoke Jumpers Training Center, very fascinating, and you will enjoy that. Then we go to Sun Valley in Ketchum, where we stay at the fabulous Sun Valley Resort and spend time in the quaint village of Ketchum. Over to Boise, Idaho, and of course we've crossed the Sawtooth Mountains in the process of all this, and we will fly home from Boise. The Colorado Rails is a wonderful tour flying in and out of Denver, but let's look and see what we do. We take Highway 70 following the Colorado River to Vail, and then we will go to Grand Junction, where we spend 2 nights, and we'll take a day trip going down Highway 128 following the Colorado River Gorge to Canyonlands and Arches National Park for the day. Another day we'll take you to Silverton, going up Highway 550. What a thrill that is, going up that road. And then in Silverton, we will board the Silverton train, the Durango-Silverton train, making our way to Durango for 2 nights. Our motor coach will follow on the road, which you cannot see from the tracks. And we will take you to Mesa Verde National Park for 1 day as well. Then we continue from Durango through Pagosa Springs, over Wolf Creek Pass to the Great Sand Dunes National Park. 700-foot sand dunes, an amazing sight. Then to Colorado Springs for 3 nights, where there is so much to see there, including the U.S. Olympic Center, the Air Force Academy, the Garden of the Gods, and the Royal Gorge Rail Train. All this part of our Colorado Rails tour. Black Hills and Badlands take you into Rapid City for an Unpack What's experience. Yes, we'll see Devil's Tower and Deadwood, where Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane lived. We as well will take you to Crazy Horse and Mount Rushmore, and we'll see the night lighting ceremony. We'll take you to Custer State Park, where you'll see the bison. We'll see the Wild Horse Sanctuary as well, and then over to Fort Hays and the Badlands National Park. Canyon de Chelly is a former mystery tour. I've had the privilege of leading this tour as a known tour event for the last 5 years, and I look forward to being a part of it again. We fly you into Albuquerque, where we see the Sky City of Acoma, and then we stay at a beautiful Hilton in Gallup before making our way to Petrified Forest and Painted Desert. Then we will go up to Ganado, where the Hubble Trading Post is located, spending 2 nights at the Thunderbird Lodge at Canyon de Chelly, and traveling in suburban-type vehicles up into Canyon de Chelly itself, as you see in the bottom right, where we will see the spires, towers, and the red rock of this canyon full of Native American cliff dwellings. We'll have Four Corners as a part of our tour, and Mesa Verde National Park. Dinner in Durango, 1 night in Farmington, and then Old Town Albuquerque before flying home. The Ultimate Canyonlands is a tour that is a favorite of mine. I lived in Zion National Park for a total of 5 years and actually owned a home there for 10 years and was trained by the National Park Service in their ranger training program to lead tours in the 7 national parks of Utah and northern Arizona. So I had the privilege of putting this tour together for AFC, and I want you to look at the national parks that we will see. Flying into Vegas, we will spend 2 days in Zion National Park. We will see Bryce Canyon National Park. Over the Grand Staircase, on the Escalante Grand Staircase National Park to Capitol Reef National Park. Goblin Valley is a state park like anything you have ever seen, and it should be a national park. It is so beautiful. 2 days in Moab, where we see Canyonlands and Arches. Edge of the Cedars is the finest Native American artifact museum found anywhere in Blanding, Utah. Monument Valley is a part of this tour. You'll stay at the finest Hampton Inn I have ever been in Kayenta, and hopefully we will have a talk from the World War II code talkers. the morning we have breakfast there. Lake Powell and the Glen Canyon Recreation Area is part of this tour. North rim of the Grand Canyon is a part of it, and coral pink sand dunes. Look at Mesa Arch in the bottom right of the picture, and look to the left. You can see one of our groups in Antelope Canyon, one of the things we do in the Glen Canyon Recreation Area. Oregon Trails and the Portland Rose Festival is a wonderful event-oriented tour. I love event-oriented tours, and the Rose Parade is part of that. It is not like the Rose Parade in Pasadena, but it is pretty darn close to that in terms of how wonderful it is. We're going to spend 5 nights in Portland, right on the Willamette River. We will see the sights of Portland, including going to the food trucks, which are very famous in downtown Portland, to get wonderful food for an optional lunch. We'll go out to Tillamook and the Three Capes Loop for the cheese factory. We will see the Columbia River Scenic Gorge, including Multnomah Falls, Horsetail Falls. We'll do a sternwheeler cruise on the Columbia River as well, and up to Astoria, where Lewis and Clark spent the winter at Fort Clatsop. So check out this tour, June the 10th. It's the only time it operates. California Rail Discovery is an opportunity to leave San Francisco, a couple of days exploring the sites in San Francisco, including a bay cruise. And then we make our way up to the Napa area, and we will take the Napa Valley wine train into wine country. Leaving Sacramento, we will make our way on Amtrak with wonderful dome-type cars over the Donner Pass. It is a beautiful experience. You take the March trip, you will never see such beautiful snow at high altitudes in your life. And then we will disembark at Truckee, make our way to Lake Tahoe, spending 3 nights there, including a paddle wheeler cruise. We'll take you as well to Virginia City and Reno. The Seattle to San Francisco tour takes us to the famous sites of Seattle, down to Portland for a night, including the great sand dunes along the Oregon coast, Coos Bay, Oregon. What a beautiful site that is. And then we'll see the redwoods in the Eureka area, and then end up in San Francisco. We'll also have a jet boat ride on the Rogue River, and of course, lots of wine tasting. New York and the Hudson River Valley. What a great combination. I love the Sleepy Hollow country of the Hudson River. So we're going to spend 3 nights in New York City, seeing the sights of New York. We'll include a Broadway show, of course, the things you would expect to see in New York. But then we go up to the Hudson Valley, and we're going to spend 3 nights there. We'll see West Point overlooking the Hudson. We will take you to the Boscobel House and Gardens. We'll go up to Hyde Park of Roosevelt fame, and you'll have an opportunity to see his home at Hyde Park. We'll take you to New Paltz. That's where the Mohawk Mountain House is located, and also a river cruise in the Hudson River Palisades. Check out this 6-day trip up to New York and the Hudson River. Cape Cod and the Islands is a tour that Deb Howard leads. I always love this tour, but Deb lives across the bay from it. She lives in Rhode Island, and we will take you into Boston, where we'll see Plymouth, the Plymouth Plantation, the Mayflower Compact. We'll spend 5 nights at a wonderful hotel in Hyannisport. That's of Kennedy fame. We'll take you to Newport to see the Breakers Mansion, 125,000 square feet of house, and all the other beautiful homes there. We'll take a ferry out to Martha's Vineyard one day, another ferry to Nantucket another day. We'll see Sandwich Glass. We will enjoy the Cranberry Bog as well. And of course, it includes a Boston tour, and my favorite, the lobster dinner as a farewell. Can't beat lobster, can you? Okay, so that's Cape Cod and the islands. The Great Canadian Cities in Niagara Falls takes us into Montreal. We will see the sights of Montreal, including the Cathedral Notre Dame in Montreal. We will take you to the islands where the Expo 67 took place. We will take you by train from Montreal to Quebec City, where we will see the Citadel. We will take you out to Saint-Anne-de-Beaupré in Quebec City, as well as the beauty of Old Town Quebec. It is just a beautiful, beautiful city, one of the oldest in North America. Then we travel by motor coach to Ottawa. We'll spend the night there. You have the Rideau Canal, Parliament. You have the Canadian Smithsonian's, if you please, in across the river in Hull. We'll see the changing of the guard in Ottawa probably. And then we will take you down to the Thousand Islands. You must see the Thousand Islands one time in your life, and Bolt Castle. It is a sight to behold. Over to Toronto, where we have the CN Tower and many other wonderful sights. Niagara Falls is part of this, and then home from Buffalo. Classic New England is a tour which I sort of think reminds me of, a Norman Rockwell tour, if you please. I love the things that we do on this, and it does include the Norman Rockwell Museum. So you'll get to see that. We'll spend time in Boston as we fly in there and seeing the sights of Boston, everything from the Old North Church to Old Ironsides. We will as well take you to the Kennedy Library. I love that library. Kennebunkport, Maine is where Walker's Point, where the Bush compound is located. And then to Portland, we'll see the Portland Head Lighthouse. And we will see the sites in and around Portland, probably stop at LL Bean in South Freeport. And then up to Bar Harbor, one of my favorite national parks. 2 nights there exploring Acadia National Park, up to Cadillac Mountain, and the wonderful carriage roads all around the national park that the Rockefellers created. Across the wilderness of Maine, we make our way to North Conway, where we will enjoy the sights of North Conway. We will take you as well on the Kankamagas Highway and see the Keechee Gorge. Woodstock is the quintessential Vermont village in the Green Mountains of Vermont, and then over to Rutland, Vermont for one night, then down to the Norman Rockwell Museum in Massachusetts, and then back to Boston. Coastal Maine is a tour that Deb Howard has put together. We both love this tour a great deal. She leads it. 5 nights in Kennebunkport, seeing the villages of York, Algonquin, one of my favorites, Portland, Maine, and the Portland Head Lighthouse, the Nubble Lighthouse as well would be a part of that. Then across Maine to North Conway, where we will ride the North Conway Scenic Rail Train into the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Check this out, 5 nights in Kennebunkport. What a thrill. Brandywine in the Poconos is a tour that many of us have led, and we'll spend 4 nights in the Brandywine Valley. We will see the Longwood Gardens of DuPont fame. We will go up to Hershey and learn about the Hershey chocolate, where all the lampposts look like Hershey kisses. We'll take you to the Demores estate as well. We'll take you into Philadelphia to see some of the sights of Philadelphia, including Independence Hall and the Constitution Museum. And then to the Lehigh Valley, over to Nazareth, and then to the Poconos, where we'll put you at the Shawnee Inn. This tour includes Amish country. It includes the Asa Packer Mansion as well. And then we fly home from Newark. Pittsburgh and Falling Waters was a former mystery tour. I've led it 4 times as a mystery tour, and we are offering it to you in the public arena so you know where you're going. This is no longer the city of steel and smog. It is a gentrified city that is well worth your consideration. It's a 5-night tour, and we will not only tour Pittsburgh, the historic sites, the gardens and museums, but we will take you to the University of Pittsburgh, where they have the International Learning Center, quite a site. We will as well take you to Fort Pitt. Carnegie and Heinz names probably mean something to you. You know of Heinz ketchup, and you heard of Andrew Carnegie, of course. We will learn all about that. We're going to take you to the Hartwood Mansion as well. And my favorite part is going out to the Frank Lloyd Wright Falling Waters Museum and House. Nova Scotia and the Canadian Maritimes is a tour that literally covers the Marine Highway in the very best way imaginable. We fly into Halifax and we'll take you to Peggy's Cove and Lunenburg. We're going to take you on the Marine Highway over to Bedeck, where you have the Edison Museum, you have Fortress Louisburg, the fabulous Cabot Trail. Then we will take the ferry across to Charlottetown, where Canada began. That's where the Confederation began, and we'll spend 2 nights on this island famous for Anne of Green Gables. Then across the fairly recently completed bridge, about 20 years ago it was completed, across the water, it's a huge bridge. We'll take you down to the Bay of Fundy and Hopewell Rocks, very famous site. And then Moncton, back to Nova Scotia, into the island of Nova Scotia, and then to Lunenburg, and then home from Halifax. The New England Rails and Trails is another version of seeing the fall foliage of New England, except we have some train rides involved. So a night in Boston, Portland, a couple of nights in North Conway, because there's not only the Conway Railroad, but the famous Mount Washington Cog Train, taking you up to the mountain that is famous for the highest winds recorded anywhere in the world. What a view that is, looking down onto the Mount Washington Hotel. Then across the Kancamagus Highway of the White Mountains of New Hampshire into the Green Mountains of Vermont to Keachie Gorge, to Burlington, Vermont on the lake, and then we continue back to Portland and then to Boston. Let's take a look at international departures very quickly. We're getting close to the end of the presentation, but we do want to share with you some international thoughts. And we believe that international tours are going to be up and going by the summertime. So look at these opportunities. This July, August, and September departure are tours I will be leading. This is a tour I created in 1976 when I got into the travel business, actually in 1973. And I've been leading this tour so many times that I believe this upcoming tour will be my 78th trip there. It is unusual and unique. It is not a motor coach tour. Yes, we fly you into Zurich, but once we get you to the Berner Oberland region, that's the highlands above Bern, Switzerland, you're going to be on cog rail trains, funiculars, lake steamers, gondolas, post buses, anything but a motor coach. We'll stay in the same hotel in the wonderful village of Wengen. You see there, 6 nights. And we're going to take you to places you've never heard of. So you've got to trust us that we're taking you to the best. But I think the pictures tell the story. Gimmelwald, Grindelwald. We're going to take you to the Aar River Gorge. We're going to take you to Getreidegasse, one of the beautiful streets in Bern, not in Bern, but in Brienne, Switzerland. So you'll be able to see Lucerne, Bern, and the entire Berner Oberland region on this wonderful tour of the highlands of Switzerland. Athens in the Greek Isles is a wonderful experience. I have led it numerous times, and I love the way AFC is operating this tour because, yes, we're going to see the sights of the Peloponnese of Greece. That's where Athens is located. But we're also going to make our way down to Piraeus and take a ferry across to spend 2 nights in hotels on the island of Mykonos. That's the one with the windmills in the bottom right. And the island of Santorini. That's the one in the upper right of this image. And that's the volcano that erupted 4000 BC. And the tidal wave destroyed the Minoan civilization several hundred miles away. The other half of the island is very smooth and pastoral, gently sloping down to the ocean. So we get to spend time exploring these islands. Yes, we'll see the Acropolis and the Parthenon and the changing of the guards while we are there. We will have some wine tasting, and we will as well give you an option to do a 3-night extension to Kalimbaka. It's a beautiful area of the main portion of Greece. And if you choose this, you will be in for a treat. So check out the Greek Isles and Athens. The treasures of Ireland are exactly that. They are treasures, and AFC has given you the best of the best in this tour. We fly into Dublin, and we make our way, after seeing the sights in and around Dublin. The Liffey River and the sights of Dublin are so fantastic. We will, of course, tour Dublin while we are there. We'll see the Book of Kells while we are there. That's in the upper right-hand portion of this image. But then we're going to go to Belfast, where the Harland and Wolff shipyard is located and the Titanic Museum is located. We will make our way back down into Southern Ireland to Glendalough, and we will see the house there. We will go to Adair, the thatched roofs, to Limerick as well, over to Galway and the Cliffs of Moher, which you see in the upper left of this image. And then we'll make our way to Killarney, and we will do loop. We'll do the loop going around the peninsula, which is just fantastic. That's called the Ring of Kerry. You will so enjoy that. We'll see the Giant's Causeway while we are also in Northern Ireland. Also, this includes, of course, the Blarney Castle, the Woolen Mills, so much on this Ireland tour. And then we again fly home from Dublin. We have a tour of Scotland and Northern Ireland, which I enjoy. We fly into Dublin, seeing the sights in Dublin, and then up to Belfast for a couple of nights, including Giant's Causeway. Then we go across to Stranraer in Scotland, and we'll spend the night, one night in Glasgow, and then we'll make our way up to Inverness, the Lakes region, past the Trossachs. We'll see Loch Ness. We'll take you to the Isle of Skye and some wonderful castles as well. No promises to see the Loch Ness Monster, but we will watch out for it. Then down to the city of Champagne, Edinburgh, the Athens of the North, and we'll spend 2 nights there, seeing the sights of Edinburgh, including the Holyrood House, which is an option, and you will also see St. Andrews while you're there, and the Edinburgh Castle. The Scottish Whisky Museum experience is also located in Edinburgh. The Amalfi Coast of Italy, what a wonderful experience this is. We fly into Rome and spend a night there. We'll see the sights of Rome on a tour, but then we're going to spend 5 nights in Sorrento. Oh, from Sorrento, you have options to go to Naples and the Isle of Capri, including the Blue Grotto. We will take you to Pompeii for a wonderful guided tour of this city that was destroyed in 70 AD at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. We'll take you on the Amalfi Coast to Postiano, to Rebello, and to Amalfi, where you will be able to really experience what you are seeing in this bottom right image. Iceland Explore. Condé Nast Magazine for the last 2 years has named Iceland as the #1 destination in the world, and people love going there. It's an Unpack Once experience in the city of Reykjavik. It includes the Iceland National Museum. You can see the Blue Lagoon in the bottom right of this image. The Golden Circle includes so many of the important sites. We do not attempt to take you all around Iceland because we don't want you to spend your entire time on a motor coach. So we have chosen the very best for you, including the Skolgar Folk Museum, the Skolgafoss waterfall that you see in the bottom left of the Viking Ship Museum, and the Lake Cliffaren is a part of this as well. So check out Iceland. What an experience that is. 2 departures. England, Scotland, and Wales is an opportunity for those of you who want to put it all in one trip to see all of Great Britain, except for, of course, Northern Ireland. That is a part of Great Britain. But look at all we do. We will take you into Edinburgh. There are nonstop flights right into Edinburgh. And then we will see the sights of Edinburgh, down to York, where we have the York Minster and the shambles of York. And then we take you down to Stratford-on-Avon, of Shakespeare fame, with the canals and the famous theater and Shakespeare's home. So much to see there. Then over to Bristol and Cardiff in Wales. Wales has a completely different language. The music is fabulous, and the rolling hills and rushing streams make it a grand experience. We'll take you to Stonehenge, Bath. We'll take you to the Salisbury Cathedral as well. And then to London for 3 days of exploring, sightseeing. It is an experience to see all 3 regions of Great Britain in one trip. The French Riviera is an opportunity just to spend 6 nights in Nice. Oh, Nice is a wonderful city, and there's so much to see and do. Perfumery factories, the beautiful fields of flowers growing. You will see Monte Carlo as well. The casinos are there. The area of Provence, Paul Cézanne's studio is there. You'll have optional tours to Cannes and to Ventimiglia in Italy, as well as San Remo in Italy. And then, of course, we will have a tour of the city of Nice as well. One stop, 6 nights in Nice. Rome and the country roads of Tuscany. Well, we actually fly you into Florence, and spending 5 nights in Florence, we're going to take you to Pisa, to Lucca, to Montecatini Terme. We will, of course, see Florence as well. We're going to go to San Giacomo and then to Siena, where the horse races take place once a year in the town square. Then we'll take you by motor coach to Assisi, where St. Francis of Assisi lived, and you will see the church. And then for 2 nights in Rome. And of course, we will have a tour of the Vatican and the Rome walking tour as well. It's an unpacked twice opportunity to see a little bit of Italy. The Classical Italy by Rail is one I have led on a couple of occasions, and it is 4 nights in Rome, where we spend 4 nights right about a block from the Rome train station. And we will see the sights of Rome while we are there, everything you would want to see. And then we will also have a high-speed rail train trip from Rome down to Naples. It is so fast. It is normally a 3 to 4 hour ride, and we are there in about an hour in Naples. And from there, we're going to take you to the Amalfi Coast, and we're going to take you to Pompeii as well as a tour of Naples. Then we take the motor coach to Siena, over to Pisa, where we'll see the Leaning Tower. 4 nights in Florence, including the Accademia. You will see the bridge and the river. You'll have an opportunity to shop for leather in the market district of Florence, and then by train from Florence, high-speed train to Venice for a full day in Venice, including a gondola ride. Spain and Portugal is a tour I have enjoyed leading over the years. And on this tour, we land in the city of Christopher Columbus, where he launched his expedition in 1492. And we will explore Portugal and Lisbon. 2 nights in Lisbon. We're going to go across to the town of Evora and spend some time exploring that. Down to Seville. 2 nights in Seville, including the fabulous Seville Cathedral. Then we're going to go to Granada, where we have a city tour as well as the fabulous Alhambra of Sultan fame, back before Ferdinand and Isabella came into power and ran the Muslims out of the country, and the Christians took over Spain. Up to Toledo, where we have the Alcazar and so many examples of Spanish art in Toledo, high on the hill, surrounded by walls. I love Madrid. It reminds me of Paris in so many ways. And we will explore Madrid as well. Now, there is an option if you wish to go to Barcelona, and that is a high-speed train, and we will see the sights of Barcelona, including the Gaudi and the Sagrada Familia, which you see in the upper left-hand photo of this picture. Thailand is a place I would never get tired of going. I have many stories about Thailand. I have been there numerous times, and I love the way this is done because it is 6 nights in one location in Bangkok, taking you to the Seduk floating markets, taking you to the palace, taking you to the golden temples. You have an opportunity to go all the way up to Chiang Mai in the Hill Tribe Village area and ride elephants. This includes so much, including the Emerald Buddha Temple, which is just glaringly bright and beautiful. The bridge over the River Kwai, the Thailand-Burma Railway Museum is there. Check this out, 6 nights in Bangkok, well worth your time. Cabo San Lucas was a mystery tour several years ago. Deb Howard led it. It is now a tour that you know the destination. And if you do this tour, you will have 4 wonderful nights at a beachfront resort in Cabo, and we'll enjoy whale watching with a catamaran cruise. You're going to go to a glass factory as well. You'll go to Todos Santos, and there'll be a mission tour of that. We'll take you as well to La Paz. Lots of free time to explore this beautiful area. And look at the date we're going, November 1. What a great time to get to the warmth and sunshine of Cabo San Lucas. The Costa Rica adventure, one of my 5 favorite countries in the world. I have been to Costa Rica numerous times, and we do it upright. We're going to cover a portion of the country. It's impossible to see it all in a short amount of time, but we'll fly in and out of San Jose, and we will enjoy, while we are there, the Sarchi ox cart factory and village. We'll visit a coffee plantation. We'll see orchid gardens. while we are there. But we're going to take you to La Fortuna, where the Arenal volcano is located. You see that in the upper left. There are streams and rivers coming out of that volcano with the most wonderful hot therapeutic water imaginable. And you'll have a chance to soak in that if you wish, in the La Fortuna area where we spend 2 nights. We're going to take you to the Monteverde cloud forest. There are 7 climactic zones in Costa Rica, and cloud forest is just one of them. Down to the west coast to Playa Blanca and to Punta Arenas, where we're going to explore the Tarcoles River and the crocodile cruise that is located there. This tour includes it all. It is a wonderful country. The food is so delicious. Everyone speaks English. You will love Costa Rica if you choose to go. And I might add that the November time frame is the time to go because you do not want to be there during the rainy season. And we have chosen a time that is not during the rainy season. Best of Australia. I think I've led this tour maybe 18, 20 times at least. And I love the way AFC has it put together as we spend 3 nights in Sydney. Did you know that flying into Sydney is only about an hour and a half further than it is if you were to go from Los Angeles to Europe? People think it's a long ways away, but it's no different than Europe in the grand scheme of it all. So in Sydney, we're going to see everything, of course, from the Coathanger Bridge, as they call it. We'll take you to the Rocks District. We'll take you to Darling Harbour and over to Bondi Beach. We might even see Curl Beach while we're there. There is so much to see in the Sydney area. Then we're going to fly to Cairns. It is about like going from Miami to New York. It's a long ways to Cairns. Way up, headed toward the equator, Kansas along the Great Barrier Reef. We'll spend 3 nights there, including Kuranda, as well as the Aboriginal Cultural Center called Jabberkai. We will take you out onto the Great Barrier Reef on a day trip. Such a fabulous event. Then we fly all the way south to Melbourne. Melbourne is such a gentrified British city. I love this city. And there we will see the sights of Melbourne with a city tour. Then from there, we fly to Queenstown. Across the Tasman Sea, Queenstown is in the heart of the Southern Alps. It is like going to the Grand Tetons, except you have a beautiful lake right in front of you called Lake Wakatipu. We will go to Milford Sound. We'll see the sights of Queenstown and Arrowtown. Then we fly from there to Rotorua. You'll have an opportunity to go to Hobbiton, which is the movie set where The Hobbit was filmed. You'll see, have a Maori feast, a hangi feast in Rotorua, and you will see the Whakarererewa thermal preserves as well. Then we go to Auckland for a little bit of sightseeing and fly home from Auckland back to the USA. Ecuador and the Galapagos is a tour that I will lead this coming November, and we will fly into Quito. We will spend 3 nights total in Quito, 1 on one end and 2 on the other, and we will have visits in and around the Quito area. But what I love about this tour is AFC is, again, doing it right. You do not want to do the Galapagos on a 7-night cruise. It is overkill. A 4-night cruise is just the right amount of time to see the red and blue-footed boobies, the albatross, the land iguana, the albino iguana, and the giant sea tortoises. We'll take you to Rabida Island, to Ferdinanda Island, to Isabella Island. We'll see the Tortoise Reserve. Check this out. I would love to have you with me on this November 9th departure. Peru and Machu Picchu, what a sight that is. We'll fly into Lima, Peru. We'll spend 2 nights exploring the Lima area, including a city tour. Then we will fly to Cusco. High altitude, so be sure you're able to handle the high altitude. But we will be spending 2 nights in Cusco and then the Sacred Valley and to Machu Picchu. Hiram Bingham discovered Machu Picchu in 1908, and what a sight it is. I consider it one of the 4 most beautiful places I have ever seen. We'll see the labyrinth. We're going to take you to Sacsayhuaman as well. And we will take the train down to Machu Picchu. It is below Cusco. So check this out. It is a wonderful 9-day tour, including 16 meals, a November 2nd departure. The Cuba Discovery is such a fantastic tour because you're 5 nights in Havana. I was in Cuba twice last year with AFC groups. Loved every minute of it. And not only are you going to enjoy the Hemingway house and farm visit and craft market, but the tobacco and farm visits as well. You'll go to a cigar factory. You're going to learn about Cuban rum as well. We're going to go to the Vinales Valley and the Pina del Rio scenic area, which is a day trip out of Havana. We'll have a walking tour. You'll even ride in the old vintage cars while you're there. 5 days in Havana, and it's only 100 miles from the coast of the U.S., September 20th. South Africa and Victoria Falls. Well, you all know how much I love the Swiss Villages tour. I've been there 78 times. I've only been to South Africa 18 times, but I will tell you, it is one of my favorites. It has to be something you must do one time in your life. So consider this September 29th departure, where we will spend time in Cape Town, and we will see the sights of Cape Town while we are there, including Robben Island. We will see, as you see in the upper right, the 12 Apostles, and we will take the cable car up to the top of the peak. We will take you as well to the very tip end of South Africa. And then we're going to make our way by air to Johannesburg, where we go to the Dino King Game Reserve. We promise you, you're going to see the big five on this. It is a well-done tour and a wonderful game preserve. We'll fly up into Zimbabwe to Victoria Falls, where you'll have an opportunity to see the falls. And, you know, the time of year we are going is a great time of year because there is just the right amount of water in the falls where you can actually see it. Chobe National Park is in Botswana, and we will cross the mighty Zambezi River to get there, and that is the Elephant Park. Lots of other wildlife there, of course. And then we'll fly all the way back to Johannesburg and then ultimately back to the United States. The Passion Play, as many of you know, has been postponed from 2020 to 2022. So we are letting you look ahead to our July 12th, August 9th, and September 7th departures. I have been to every Passion Play since 1980, and this one is going to be just as good. Flying into Munich to see the sights, over to Oberammergau, and we will enjoy time in Oberammergau and the painted houses there. We'll make our way to the beautiful Bavarian castle of Mad King Ludwig at Neuschwanstein. Then we're going to go over to Salzburg, the city of music. We're going to spend a night there, seeing the sights, St. Peter's Cathedral, the gravestones where the von Trapp family hid behind them. You'll see the Hohensalzburg from Salzburg itself. Sound of Music tour, of course. Then a Danube cruise to the Danube Gorge, and then 3 nights in Vienna. There is an extension going up to the beautiful city of Prague, unquestionably the most beautiful city in all of Europe. Now let's quickly talk about ocean cruises, and we are finished. We have numerous ocean cruises. Holland America is one of our favorite lines, although we can book you on any ocean cruise. And if you book an ocean cruise and spend a certain threshold of money, then you are going to be able to get a free ride to the airport with us. Beats a bottle of wine, doesn't it? We have Alaska, Canada, Panama, Circle Hawaii, Hawaii, Tahiti, and the Marquesas Islands. Check this out. Let's look at what we've got. The American Queen Steamboat Company is one of the ways we rediscover nostalgic America, America in the 1880s, Mark Twain. There's opportunities on the Ohio River. There's opportunities on the Cumberland River, the Tennessee River. You can go all the way to Minneapolis, or you can take a foliage cruise from Minneapolis to St. Louis, or you can do the antebellum home tours from Memphis to New Orleans or return. Lots of opportunities. You can go to Louisville, even Pittsburgh, Chattanooga, all part of this wonderful opportunity. And there is also opportunities on a smaller ship, the Columbia River paddle wheeler, which covers the Willamette River, the Columbia River, and the Snake River. Victory Cruise Lines is your opportunity to explore the Great Lakes as well as the St. Lawrence Seaway. Look at the options: Montreal to Chicago, Toronto to Chicago, Portland, Maine to Niagara Falls. So many opportunities, and you can even follow the waterways in the Atlantic Ocean Niagara Falls to Boston or Boston to St. John. Check out Victory Cruise Lines. It's your opportunity to do something that heretofore has not existed. It is a fairly new opportunity in cruising. Now, folks, remember this. We have the show special. We're so glad you've stuck with us through all of this. 2021, if you book a tour or a cruise within 1 week, that's by this coming Friday, December 18th, then you get the $99 deposit, get to keep your money in the bank, and $25 off using the code listed. How do you make a reservation? You call and one of our reservation team will help you make the right decision. They'll make sure all the right discounts apply to you. They'll help you with that all-important insurance. Don't forget to get that. And it is a seamless, easy process. So where are you going to go on your next vacation? Wow, I want to do them all. I really do. But that's not a possibility. So pick out your favorite 3 or 4 tours and let's jump on board and make this happen in 2021. Thanks so much for attending, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Matt Kennel and the other owners of AFC Vacation and the entire staff who worked so hard to give you a great experience, we thank you for being a part of this presentation, and we hope you all have a wonderful and happy holidays.